when you go out there, you come back a little bit more dead inside.
So after years of anticipation, the Spawn reboot is finally happening, thanks to Blumhouse and Todd McFarlane. And with Jamie Foxx stepping into the iconic role, there's plenty to talk about. Spawn, created by Todd McFarlane and launched in 1992's Spawn #1, quickly became a comic book icon outside of the Marvel and DC universes. Over the years, Spawn has seen various adaptations, from a well-received animated TV series to a not-so-well-received live-action movie back in the day. Despite the original movie not hitting the mark commercially, it's gained a dedicated following over time. And now, with renewed interest in the franchise, McFarlane is teaming up with Blumhouse for the long-awaited reboot. Jamie Foxx is set to portray Spawn, and there's been significant development on what could be one of the most anticipated comic book movies in recent memory. Now, what's the latest scoop on the Spawn reboot? Well, unlike some other Hollywood projects that seem to languish in development limbo, there's been steady news coming out about this one. Todd McFarlane himself recently provided an update on the reboot's progress. According to the comic book legend, the project is at a crucial make-or-break stage in terms of funding. If Hollywood doesn't jump on board soon, they might have to start looking elsewhere for investors. But McFarlane's not throwing in the towel just yet. He's banking on the tried-and-true Hollywood filmmaking machine to come through. With confidence in his producer, Jason Blum, McFarlane remains optimistic about getting the project off the ground. And despite the setback caused by the WGA strike, which put things on hold for much of 2023, McFarlane assures fans that creative development is still chugging along. In fact, he recently got his hands on the script and seems pleased with the progress behind the scenes. While the Spawn reboot may be facing some challenges, it's clear that McFarlane and the team are determined to make it happen. Here's hoping Hollywood bites soon and we get to see Spawn back on the big screen in all his glory. As for what's the current status of the Spawn reboot production, well, buckle up because we've got some updates. The highly anticipated Spawn reboot movie is slated for release in 2025. While we don't have a more specific window just yet, producer Jason Blum has reassured fans that despite some setbacks, the film is still on track. In September 2023, Blum reiterated to comicbook.com that Spawn is indeed coming out in 2025, standing firm on that release date. Now, the road to this point hasn't been without its obstacles. The reboot faced delays due to both the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes, as well as some personal health issues affecting Jamie Foxx, who's set to star in the lead role. But despite these challenges, the team behind the Spawn reboot remains committed to bringing the iconic character back to the big screen. So, mark your calendars for 2025, because Spawn is gearing up for a comeback like never before. Alright, let's talk about the cast of the upcoming Blumhouse Spawn reboot, with Jamie Foxx leading the charge. You probably already know Jamie Foxx from his stellar performances in films like Django Unchained and Ray, not to mention his recent hits like Strays and Day Shift. Well, in this reboot, he's taking on the role of Al Simmons, who eventually transforms into the iconic anti-hero Spawn. Now, while Foxx is definitely a major draw for the film, there haven't been any further casting announcements just yet. Fans are eagerly awaiting news on who will portray other key characters, such as Violator. However, Todd McFarlane, the mastermind behind Spawn, has teased that we can expect to see more A-listers alongside Foxx in the movie. So while the full cast may still be under wraps for now, one thing's for sure, Jamie Foxx is set to bring his A-game to the role of Spawn, and fans can't wait to see who else will join him in this highly anticipated reboot. With that being said, now you want to know the story of Todd McFarlane's Spawn reboot. Well, while there haven't been too many specifics revealed just yet, one thing's for sure, it's going to be R-rated. Now, if we're going by the original Todd McFarlane comics, we can expect the reboot to follow the origin story of Spawn pretty closely. Al Simmons, a former Marine, meets a brutal end at the hands of those he once trusted. But instead of resting in peace, Simmons is brought back as a Hell Spawn, a being with some seriously superhuman abilities, sent straight from the underworld to dish out punishment to those headed for Hell. Taking on the moniker of Spawn, Simmons finds himself at a crossroads. Will he succumb to vengeance, or will he choose to wield his powers for the greater good? But here's where it gets interesting. There's a lot more to Spawn than just your average comic book hero. he's the epitome of the brooding 90s antihero, bringing a whole new level of darkness and depth to the genre. And while the 1997 movie didn't quite hit the mark, Todd McFarlane's vision for the character has always been something special. With the upcoming Spawn reboot from Blumhouse, there's a real chance to do justice to this iconic character. And who knows, this could be the film that finally catapults Spawn into live-action success, bringing McFarlane's demonic hero the recognition he truly deserves. With that being said, let's delve into the potential for the new Spawn reboot movie to bring us some of the most shocking villains Al Simmons has ever faced, and how he managed to defeat them. Spawn is no stranger to facing off against some of the most hardcore characters in comic book history. I mean, when you're channeling the powers of hell, you're bound to attract some pretty nasty adversaries, right? One surprising showdown that fans might not expect was with none other than the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themselves. Yep, you heard that right. In a brief but intense encounter in the sewers, Spawn clashed with the heroes in a battle that was as surprising as it was action-packed. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Spawn's battles aren't just limited to demons and cyborgs. He's also faced off against angels. Take Angela, for example. She's a formidable opponent tasked with hunting down Hellspawn like Al Simmons. Despite her angelic strength, Spawn managed to hold his own against her, proving himself to be a force to be reckoned with. And let's not forget about Spawn's first major matchup, which was against a cybernetic villain named Overkill. This hulking, hardcore foe gave Spawn a real run for his money in their initial encounter, but Spawn, being the relentless anti-hero that he is, came back swinging, ultimately reducing Overkill to little more than a skeleton in a fierce display of power. But perhaps one of the most shocking moments in Spawn's saga was when he hunted down and confronted the man responsible for his demise, Chapel. Learning that his former colleague was behind his murder sent Spawn on a quest for vengeance like no other. And when he finally caught up with Chapel, well, let's just say things got pretty gruesome. So as we eagerly await the new Spawn reboot movie, we can only imagine the jaw-dropping showdowns and shocking revelations it has in store for us. With a character as iconic as Spawn, the possibilities are endless, and fans can't wait to see what twisted adversaries he'll face next on the big screen. And that's a wrap for today's video, folks. We hope you've thoroughly enjoyed this content. If it resonated with you, please take a moment to show your support by giving this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more amazing content. Your feedback is invaluable, so don't forget to leave a comment below, sharing what impressed you the most in this video. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.